I'm Brian Bose. Nina Harrelson is off. Our top story tonight, authorities in Rusk County have made an arrest in connection to a missing man's body found inside a well in Mount Enterprise on Tuesday. CBS 19's Brett Vetter joins us now live outside the Rusk County Justice Center with the latest information. Brett, what can you tell us?
Well, speaking with the Rusk County Sheriff's Office tonight, I can tell you that one male suspect has been taken into custody. Officials here were executing a search warrant on Tuesday along the 1400 block of State Highway 315 when they found the body of Floyd Thompson inside of a well. Now, deputies I've spoken with today tell me that they cannot yet release the name of the suspect, but he will be arraigned on charges by tomorrow. So we should be getting more information about that, and we will definitely bring you the latest information on this developing story as soon as we get that. Reporting here in Rusk County, Brett Vetter, CBS 19.
Thank you, Brett. In White House, a police officer was hurt when he jumped into the middle of a fight between two men outside of a church. Jamarque Simmons now faces 3 charges, including assault of a police officer. White House PD say Simmons punched and jumped on top of Officer Jason Westbrook before several people stepped in to stop him. And in Nacogdoches, 6 people were arrested following an undercover prostitution bust. Several of those suspects were also carrying drugs and will face additional charges. The investigation is still ongoing and more arrests are possible. Members of PFLAG are hoping to shed light on what effect suicide has on remaining family members and friends, and how best to see the warning signs and prevent it from happening. Tonight, the organization hosted a candlelight vigil in Longview for those people dealing with suicide. Our Tristan Hardy joins us live in Longview with the story. Tristan.
Well, September is Suicide Prevention Month, and this is the first event held here in Longview to recognize that. And PFLAG says this is needed after one of their own members committed suicide. I believe in love. It was a moment when people could come together to remember their loved ones. For some, it was an opportunity to send a message and spread awareness.
That's our chance for us to never forget.
Kevin Marshall was one of the key speakers at this event. He shared his story of how one of his friends who he served in the Navy with committed suicide. A moment in his life, he says, that changed him.
Well, it's something that I think about every day. One way I can remember them is to always be vigilant.
For 17 years, Marshall has been fighting to bring awareness of suicide prevention. For Josh Gibson, after seeing how the rally brought more people than he expected, it reminds him how he's not alone in combating the feeling of losing a loved one.
It really makes me feel proud that there are other people who are brave enough to break the stigma of suicide.
Gibson was brave enough to share his story of how he prevented his father from taking his own life. Days later, one of his friends committed suicide. So for the past 3 years, he's been advocating suicide prevention events in Longview, which he believes the city needs more of.
Each person needs outlets for help. They need support for other people.
And PFLAG says this candlelight vigil will be an annual event. Below your screen is a number to the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Reporting live in Longview, I'm Tristan Hardy, CBS 19. Brian, back to you.
Thank you, Tristan. There are now 208 cases of the Zika virus reported in Texas after the confirmation of another one today, this time in Rusk County. The Department of State Health Services would not share much information on the case, but did confirm that the person got the virus from traveling. Here you can see a map identifying all counties with confirmed cases of Zika in East Texas. Angelina, Gregg, Upshur, and now Rusk. One local expert says while there's only been 4 cases, still take precaution.
We're still in mosquito season, although it's starting to get a little cooler. Mosquitoes are still out there, still warm enough for them.
Roberts also says to remember 4 key points. Avoid being outside at dusk and dawn. Remember to wear long sleeves and cover up any exposed skin. Use bug spray with DEET and drain any standing water, no matter how big or small. Well, we had another pleasant day here in East Texas, and now temperatures are starting to nosedive a bit. I actually kind of like it. Meteorologist Alberto Romero joins us in the Weather Center. Could we get under 60 tonight?
The quick answer to that is actually yes. How about that?
All right.
Actually, some locations are in the 50s already. Currently, taking a look at the temperatures across East Texas, we're looking at 58 in Carthage, 55 Marshall, 56 Jefferson, 57 in Gomer, Longview, check it out. Longview's already at 58 degrees. We're at 64 here at Tyler, and we're going to continue dropping into the 50s for the remainder of those towns that are currently still in the 60s. Here's your forecast for tonight. We're going to be dropping to about 55 degrees across East Texas, and then once the sun comes up, we're going to warm up rapidly. We have plenty of sunshine in the forecast, but the good news is temperatures for Friday afternoon will still remain below average, and we have a dry forecast for Friday Night Football. I will have that 7-day forecast coming at you in just a few moments. Back to you, Brian.
Thank you, Alberto. Federal investigators are now on the scene of this morning's commuter train accident in New Jersey. One person was killed and more than 100 others were injured. Now thousands have to find an alternate route to work tomorrow. Marley Hall has more from Hoboken.
Federal investigators will examine an event recorder and video recordings from the New Jersey Transit train that plowed through its final stop into a waiting area in the Hoboken terminal during Thursday morning's rush hour.
From the event recorder, we hope to get information such as speed and braking.
Eyewitnesses say the train was moving at a high rate of speed when it failed to stop. As it entered the station, it continued beyond the tracks, sending the 4 cars crashing through a main concourse barrier, then launching airborne into the platform area.
Kaboom! The whole place shook.
It was just chaos. Running, it was really insane.
Falling debris killed 34-year-old Fabiola Bitar de Kroon as she waited on the crowded platform. More than 100 others were hurt. Investigators will also determine whether technology that overrides a train engineer to slow or stop a train could have helped prevent the crash.
Positive train control, if all the mechanical systems were working properly, should have stopped this train.
New Jersey Transit trains do not have that technology, but it will be required by 2018. The train's engineer, 48-year-old Thomas Gallagher, was released from the hospital and is cooperating with investigators. Marley Hall, CBS News, Hoboken, New Jersey.
Out on the campaign trail, both candidates were quick to offer their condolences to the victims of that crash. Hillary Clinton is in the battleground state of Iowa, while Donald Trump spent time trying to make up ground in New Hampshire. He is already preparing for the second debate by asking his supporters which topics they think he needs to focus on to win. 3 days after debate number 1, Trump's still blaming moderator Lester Holt for what some are calling an underwhelming performance.
And then I had to put up with the anchor and fight the anchor all the time on everything I said. What a rigged deal. I tell you, we're in such a rigged situation. It is terrible.
Third party.
The biggest newsmaker of the day didn't come from one of the major parties. Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson had to regroup after failing to name even one foreign leader that he looked up to. In less than 1 month, early voting will start in Texas, and while it's great to get ahead of the game, political experts say that may not be the best way to do it. A lot can change between now and November, and with voters in states like Iowa heading to the polls already, it can lead to remorse if your favorite candidate says something you don't like after the ballot is already in.
Some people have estimated, this may be way too large, that 1/3 of the electorate will have already voted early by November 8th of this year. 1/3.
Election administrators say it's not uncommon to have people come by their office and request to change their vote. They made it clear, though, there are no do-overs, and if you try to vote again and get caught, the punishment is 10 years in prison. The City of Tyler Solid Waste Department and Keep Tyler Beautiful are sponsoring a free bulky item collection for City of Tyler residential customers. Solid Waste will be picking up items for 1 week only from Monday, October 3rd through Friday, October 7th. Bulky items to be picked up at no charge include furniture, appliances, and old toys. Liquid waste, limbs or brush, will not be picked up. Paint cans and containers must be dried out with oil dry or kitty litter. Just leave your bulky items on the curb by Monday. We have a complete list of those items that qualify. Just head on over to cbs19.tv. Well, building up the nerve to climb aboard some of those rusty rides at the fair can be one of the scariest parts about them. But CBS 19 is giving you some peace of mind tonight. Right after the break, go behind the scenes and see what ride inspectors are doing to make sure everyone has a great day at the fair.